What's up, Broncos Country? Dude, you won't believe what's happening with the Denver Broncos right now. The AFC is completely upside down, and while everyone thought Sean Payton was going to have heavy lifting this offseason, it seems like the universe is conspiring in favor of Denver. Every time I open Twitter, another star player from our playoff rivals drops on the injury list. We're talking Justin Herbert out, Josh Allen hurt, Lamar Jackson debilitated, and the Broncos? Sitting pretty in Mile High, rested with 13 wins and watching everyone implode. Is this coincidence, divine strategy, or is there something nobody's telling you about the secret push in the AFC? Stay with me until the end because there's a bombshell detail involving the playoffs that could change everything for our team. Man, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan, and I'll tell you something. This isn't luck, it's destiny. When the season started, everyone said the AFC would be an impossible minefield. Kansas City Chiefs dominating for years, Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen flying high, Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson in MVP mode, and us? Oh, we were just that rebuilding team with a rookie quarterback. Bo Nix, they said. He'll struggle, they said. First season in the playoffs is always tough, they said. Look where we are now. The Denver Broncos are 13-3. Leading the AFC West for the first time since 2015, that magical Super Bowl 50 year. Remember? And it's not just that. Every week that passes, it seems like some cosmic force is removing obstacles from our path like dominoes. Justin Herbert, out against us in Week 18. Josh Allen, foot injury, efficiency dropping. Lamar Jackson, barely able to practice since Week 10. Now, before you think I'm being arrogant or disrespectful, let me tell you something. We deserve this luck. You know why? Because while other teams depend on one or two stars to carry the team on their backs, Denver built a complete army. Our defense is the best in the league in almost every category. Vance Joseph assembled a machine that doesn't let anyone breathe. Pat Surtain II came back playing at an all-pro level even after partially tearing his pectoral against the Cowboys. Nick Bonito is destroying opposing quarterbacks like they're practice dummies. And Bo Nix? Dude, this kid is special. Everyone forgot he was the first rookie quarterback to take a team to the playoffs in years. He had that horrible game against the Jaguars in Week 16. Yeah, 20-34, an ugly loss that hurt to the soul. But you know what happened? He didn't crumble. He didn't panic. 5 days later, on Christmas, against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium, he led a 20-13 victory that sealed our division title. That's a championship mentality. According to ESPN analysts and league insiders, the Broncos shouldn't be in this position. Our offensive line, despite having Garrett Bowles playing at his elite level, allowing only 5.5% pressure per game, absurd numbers, still had question marks. Our running game lost J.K. Dobbins to injury, and R.J. Harvey, our second-round rookie, had to take on a much bigger role than expected. And still, here we are, fighting for the first seed in the AFC. The truth nobody wants to admit is simple. Denver Broncos is the most complete team in the American Conference right now. We don't have glaring weaknesses. We don't depend on just one player. When Courtland Sutton isn't having his best day, Troy Franklin shows up. When our run game doesn't work, Bo Nix makes magic happen through the air. When the offense stalls, our defense simply doesn't allow points. And now, with the playoffs knocking on the door, everyone's starting to realize the Broncos aren't underdogs. We're favorites. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Our playoff rivals are crumbling. And it's not my exaggeration, no, it's proven fact. Starts with the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert, who, let's face it, is a phenomenal quarterback, won't play against us in Week 18. Jim Harbaugh announced he's resting him and several other starters because they have already secured a playoff spot and want to heal the bruises. Translation, they know they can't beat us with everything they have, so they'd rather not even risk it. Sure, it makes sense strategically, but think about it. If the Chargers had a real chance to knock us out of the first seed, do you really think they'd rest Herbert? Obviously not. And it doesn't stop there. Rashawn Slater, their starting left tackle, out. Joe Alt, the backup, also injured. Now they're playing with a fourth-string left tackle. Fourth string, man! Elijah Molden, important safety, probably out. Tiertart, if he doesn't play, it's the end of the line for their defense. We're talking about a team so depleted it looks like that 2022 Denver Broncos when everything went wrong. Except now, they're the broken team. We're the healthy team, rested, playing at home with 10 days of rest since the Christmas game. Analysts predict that if half the guys on the Chargers' probable injury list don't play, the Broncos will do exactly what we did last year against Kansas City, a 38-0 blowout. Bo Nix will be wearing an AFC West championship hat at halftime. It's going to be glorious, mark it down. Now let's go to the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, league MVP according to many, is injured. Tests came back negative for a fracture, but insiders in Buffalo are saying it could be a big toe injury, like what Brock Purdy and Joe Burrow had. That would explain why he missed that ridiculous pass to a wide-open receiver on the two-point conversion against the Eagles. Josh Allen never misses that. But injured changes everything. And there's more. Jordan Poyer, Bills starting safety, out. Ed Oliver, a monster on the defensive line on the injury list with a torn bicep. The other AFC playoff giant is extremely depleted. We're watching the team fall apart right when they'd need to be whole most. Baltimore Ravens? Lamar Jackson practicing on a Wednesday for the first time since Week 10. Week 10, man. The guy is incredibly debilitated. We don't even know if he'll be able to play properly in the playoffs. And we're talking about Lamar Jackson, one of the most athletic and talented quarterbacks in the NFL. If he's not 100%, the Ravens don't have a chance. New England Patriots, who technically still have a mathematical shot at something, are in one scandal after another. Stefan Diggs involved in a domestic violence accusation, potentially ending up on the commissioner's exempt list. Christian Barmore, a defensive lineman who's a true game wrecker, also with a domestic violence accusation. The Patriots are disintegrating before even reaching the playoffs, and Drake May, their rookie quarterback, look, he plays well. But he has only 2 wins against teams above 500. 2. And we all know there's a completely different level between regular season and playoffs. Bo Nix already went through this adaptation last year when he faced the Bills. He already took that punch in the face, already felt the intensity. Drake May hasn't yet, and when he does, it'll be too late. Meanwhile, in Denver, we just keep improving. You know what our biggest problem is according to ESPN? Covering slot receivers. That's our biggest weakness. Dude, if that's the worst we have, then we're more than ready. Vance Joseph already has plans to fix it. And look, it's not even that glaring a weakness. It's more a tactical adjustment issue than lack of talent. Another detail almost nobody talks about. Penalties. Denver Broncos is the second most penalized team in the NFL, losing only to the Chicago Bears. That's horrible, right? But here's the kicker. In the playoffs, refs let teams play much more. They swallow the whistle on plays that would be flagged in the regular season, and a team that already dominates while being ultra-penalized? Imagine when those penalties drop by half. We're going to be unstoppable. Pat Surtain, too, is returning to his absolute elite level. The guy intercepted Jordan Love against the Green Bay Packers even while playing hurt. Talanoa Hufanga, who came from San Francisco and had difficulty with interceptions there, has already gotten his hands on at least 5 interceptions this season. These are details that start to accumulate and make all the difference. Shannon Sharp interviewed John Elway recently and asked how this team compares to the 2015 team that won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. Elway's answer? He thinks this team is more complete and better built than that one. Let that sink in. John Elway, Broncos legend, saying this 2025 team is better than the Super Bowl 50 championship team. And look, that team had a historic defense with Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr., and that whole killer machine. And you know what else? That 2015 team also had a negative turnover differential in the regular season, exactly like us now. But when they got to the playoffs, they outperformed opponents by 4 turnovers. forced mistakes at crucial moments, and dominated. It's the perfect precedent. Our defense isn't as good at turnovers in the regular season, but when it comes to the time that matters, when the pressure increases, we show up. So yes, while our rivals are imploding with injuries, scandals, and inconsistency, the Denver Broncos are building momentum at the perfect time of the season. Now, let's talk about what really matters, the path to the playoffs and why this is the year for the Broncos. Week 18, Sunday, January 4th, 2026. Denver Broncos at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. A win guarantees the first seed in the AFC, bye in the first round of playoffs, and home field advantage in all games until the Super Bowl. Playing at Mile High is an absurd advantage. The altitude, the crowd, the Colorado cold in winter, all of it counts. Visiting teams simply don't perform the same here. And with the Chargers coming depleted, without Herbert, without starting tackles, with backups of backups, dude, this is going to be a practice. I'm not underestimating anyone. Football is football, and anything can happen. But realistically speaking, if we don't win this game by at least 20 points, something went very wrong. Now, assuming we get the first seed, and we will, the scenario becomes perfect. Wild card round, we rest. Watch the other teams kill each other, get hurt, wear themselves out. Meanwhile, Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, Pat Certain too, everyone relaxing, studying film, adjusting strategies. Divisional round at home against the 6th or 7th seed that survives. Probably Houston Texans or some team with an inexperienced playoff quarterback. C.J. Stroud is good, but has already shown vulnerabilities. Our defense can dominate him. And playing at Mile High in the snow? Forget it. We devour these teams. AFC Championship game, also at home. Here's where it gets interesting. If Josh Allen can get Buffalo here, he'll be playing far below his level because of the foot injury. The Bills' defense is weak against the run, and R.J. Harvey is playing great. He's already a strong candidate for Rookie Offensive Player of the Year. We steamroll them on the ground, and Bo Nix does what's necessary through the air. If it's Baltimore with Lamar Jackson debilitated, even better. Vance Joseph knows exactly how to stop Lamar. Just don't let him escape the pocket and force him to win with his arm. Lamar is incredible, but hurt and under constant pressure, he makes mistakes. New England Patriots? Drake May will feel the weight of the moment. His first championship game against a defense that's the best in the league, at Mile High, with 70,000 people screaming against him. Good luck, kid. Super Bowl 60, maybe against Philadelphia Eagles, maybe Detroit Lions, maybe even Green Bay Packers or San Francisco 49ers. Doesn't matter. With the path we have, arriving rested, healthy, with momentum, playing our best football, the NFC doesn't have a team that can stop us. Think about it. Sean Payton has led teams to 13 wins, more times than any other coach in NFL history, tied only with Bill Belichick. He knows how to win big games. He knows how to prepare teams for playoffs. And this team has something special. Garrett Balls, playing at the highest level of his career. Quinn Miners dominating in the middle of the line. Mike McGlinchey stabilized on the right. This offensive line will give Bo time to do everything he needs. And when we need to run, R.J. Harvey is there, ready to explode through any hole. On the defensive side, Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers destroying the line, Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonitto coming off the edges like sharks, Alex Singleton commanding the middle. Dre Greenlaw, who came back from injury and is already showing why he was so important for the 49ers, adding experience and intensity. And that secondary, Pat Surtain II, Riley Moss, Jaquan McMillian, P.J. Locke, Talanoa Hufanga. It's unfair to have so much talent together. This team doesn't have an exploitable weakness, doesn't have a if so-and-so doesn't play well, we lose. Doesn't have an indispensable player who, if he goes out, leaves us desperate. It's a complete team built to win in any situation, against any opponent. And you know what makes me most confident? The attitude. After that horrible loss to the Jaguars in Week 16, many people thought we'd crumble. Lost confidence. Momentum's gone. They'll go into a tailspin. But what happened? 5 days later, Christmas Day, Arrowhead Stadium against the Chiefs, 20-13 victory. Sean Payton said afterwards, "It doesn't need to be pretty to be effective," and he's right. Winning playoffs isn't about making spectacular plays for highlights. It's about executing, about doing the basics perfectly, about not making dumb mistakes and capitalizing on the opponent's errors. And at that, Denver Broncos is a master. Another detail, experience. Mercedes Lewis, at 41 years old, is the oldest tight end in NFL history to play, and he still contributes. Garrett Bowles has been in the league for 9 years. Evan Engram has 9 years too. Cortland Sutton, 8 years. These guys have already been in pressure moments. They know how to handle it. And for the younger players, having veterans like this in the locker room is invaluable. Some people say, "Yeah, but it's Bo Nix's first year of real success. He doesn't have playoff experience." Wrong. He has experience. He played the playoffs last year as a rookie and learned the hard way. That game against the Bills was a humility lesson. But you know what's the difference between being humiliated and giving up versus being humiliated and growing? This year, Bo Nix grew. He's not that scared rookie anymore. He's a leader, a commander, a quarterback who believes 100% he can beat anyone. And look at the numbers. Bo Nix is among the best rookie quarterbacks of all time in various statistics. Only 32 quarterbacks in NFL history have passed for more than 6,000 yards in their first 2 seasons. Bo is on track to enter this elite group. He already has all the Broncos' rookie records. And now he wants the Super Bowl. But wait, because there's one detail that could change everything and that I haven't told you yet. There was a behind-the-scenes move involving Sean Payton in the offseason that could mean unexpected reinforcements arriving before the playoffs. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, because next week I'm going to break down everything about the Broncos front office's secret plans to secure this title. And leave in the comments, do you believe this is the year for the Broncos' 4th Super Bowl ring? Let's debate. There is something Broncos Nation veterans know, but new fans sometimes forget. Denver has always been a team of destiny. 1997 and 1998, John Elway winning those 2 Super Bowls in a magical, almost impossible way. 2015, Peyton Manning saying goodbye in the best way possible with that legendary defense carrying him on their backs to the title. And now, 2025-2026, all the stars are aligning again. Folks, it's not just about football. It's about narrative. It's about history. It's about cosmic justice. Denver suffered too much in the last 10 years. The post-Peyton era was a disaster. Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco, who had those 3 magical games but then disappeared, Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, Russell Wilson. My God, Russell Wilson. That was one of the worst eras in franchise history. We paid tons of money for a quarterback who simply couldn't execute. We lost draft picks. We lost prestige. We became a national joke. But you know what happens when you hit rock bottom and have a serious organization with committed owners like the Walton Penner family, with a smart GM like George Payton, and with a winning coach like Sean Payton? You rise again. You come back stronger. And that's exactly what's happening. Bo Nix wasn't the first overall pick, wasn't even the second. Caleb Williams went before him to Chicago, Jaden Daniels to Washington, Drake May to New England. But guess which of these rookies is in the playoffs with a real chance to win it all? Bo Nix. Guess which one built a team around him instead of being just a lone star? Bo Nix. George Payton was genius in that draft. He not only got Bo, but also R.J. Harvey in the second round, Jonah Ellis in the draft, and made smart trades that gave us flexibility. And the offseason? Talanoa Hufanga from San Francisco. Evan Engram coming to strengthen tight end. Small adjustments here and there that culminated in a complete roster. These aren't flashy moves that cost all the cap space. They're smart, sustainable moves that build something lasting. Because here's the truth many people don't want to accept. Denver Broncos isn't just competing for this year. The window will stay open for years. Bo Nix is 25 years old. R.J. Harvey, 24. Pat Surtain, 25. Nick Bonito, 26. Riley Moss, 25. Jonah Ellis, 22. Troy Franklin, 22. This is the team's core, and they're all just starting their careers. With Sean Payton coaching and George Payton making the right signings, we can easily have a 5-6-year dynasty dominating the AFC. But of course, none of this matters if we don't win now. And that's why this year is so crucial. It's the perfect confluence of factors. Young team, but experienced enough, veterans leading, weakened rivals, home field advantage, momentum. Everything is aligned. Vance Joseph deserves immense credit, too. Man, he was fired as head coach here in Denver years ago. Could have held a grudge. But came back as defensive coordinator and assembled the best defense in the NFL. Third in total yards allowed, second in rushing yards allowed, eighth in passing yards, fourth in points allowed. These numbers are absurd. And the best part? He's doing this without having a superstar at every position. It's a perfect scheme that maximizes each player's talent. And let's not forget special teams. Marvin Mims Jr. as a returner is lethal. He finally took a punt return all the way for a touchdown and celebrated with the classic mile-high salute. Will Lutz as kicker has been ultra-reliable. Jeremy Crawshaw on punts has been putting teams in horrible field position. Special teams win playoff games, and ours is top 10 in the league. I know many people will say, but what if there's an injury? What if Bo Nix has a bad game at the wrong time? What if the defense fails when we need it most? Valid concerns. But you know what's the difference between this team and teams from recent years? Depth. Jarrett Stidham as backup quarterback is much better than most backups in the league. If a linebacker gets hurt, we have Jordan Turner and Lavelle Bailey waiting. If we need more bodies on the defensive line, Ayoma Uwazuriki and Malcolm Roach are ready. This team was built to last, to take punishment, to survive adversity, and we've already proven it. When J.K. Dobbins went down, R.J. Harvey stepped up. When Luke Wattenberg went to injured reserve, Alex Forsythe came in. When Dre Greenlaw was suspended for a week, the rest of the linebacker corps compensated. Always someone ready to step forward. And this reflects in the locker room climate. You watch the post-game interviews. You see guys celebrating on social media. You hear Sean Payton's press conferences. There's genuine confidence. It's not arrogance. It's the quiet certainty of those who know they're prepared. It's the mentality of doesn't matter who comes, we're ready. The Pro Bowl announced 6 Broncos selected, the most since 2014. Pat Surtain 2, obvious. Bo Nix, Nick Bonito, Garrett Balls, Quinn Meinerz, and Cortland Sutton. This is national recognition. This shows the rest of the league is seeing what we already knew. Denver is stacked with talent. And of course, I sincerely hope none of these 6 play in the actual Pro Bowl. You know why? Because the Pro Bowl is in February. And if our guys are playing in February, it means we didn't win the Super Bowl. We want them to rest in February, celebrating the title. Simple as that. Another factor, intangibles, leadership, culture. Sean Payton demands excellence. He doesn't accept laziness, sloppiness, lack of attention to detail. And it spreads. When the coach is demanding but fair, when he holds accountable but also recognizes effort, the team responds. And Bo Nix absorbed this perfectly. He studies film obsessively. He arrives early, leaves late, he leads by example. That's what differentiates good teams from championship teams. I end this section with a reflection. How many times in life do you feel like everything is conspiring in your favor? That the universe is literally pushing you toward success? For most people, maybe once or twice in an entire lifetime. For football teams, maybe once per generation. And now, January 2026 with the Denver Broncos, we're living that moment. Everything is favorable. And if we don't take advantage, we'll regret it for decades. But I have faith. Faith in Sean Payton. Faith in Bo Nix. Faith in this killer defense. Faith in Broncos Nation making Mile High shake. And faith that in a few weeks, we'll be celebrating the 4th Super Bowl ring in Denver Broncos history. And there's one more thing I discovered researching that nobody is talking about. There's a scary statistic about teams that start 13-3 and play at home in the playoffs. I'll reveal it in the next video, and it will blow your mind. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share this video with every Broncos fan you know. And leave in the comments, which playoff game are you most excited to see? Divisional round, championship, Super Bowl? Let's discuss. Go Broncos!